really you have the same goals as your opponent. For the most part, you have the same interests as far as being a mixed martial artist, and everyone wants to be the best. So you share that. There's a bond to some levels, and you definitely have a tremendous amount of respect for anybody that's willing to put it all on the line and get in that cage and throw down. I know how much it takes for me to get prepared for a fight, to get how hard it was to just even get started and overcome everything that I've overcome. Everyone's overcome so much to just get in the UFC alone, but to rise to the top and become one of the top dogs takes a tremendous amount of work and skill. So you gotta have respect for anyone that goes through that. And so I definitely respect any opponent that I've been in there with.
You come down.
I made it happen.
You are Kevin Lee. I want you taking the back. I want you attacking the back, and I want you mounting. Yeah, Sean Levy. The first time that Longo brought up Al to me is when he was sparring with a guy that was already in the UFC. One of our guys that didn't end up sticking around. Wasn't one of our favorite guys. And he didn't have the best attitude. And just to show what I'm talking about. So he sparred with Al, and Al was still an amateur. And Al gave him a fit. And to the point where the guy was complaining that, why am I working with, these guys get work out of me. And he was upset that this kid who's an amateur got the better of him in sparring. And then that's the first I heard of Al Iaquinta from Ray Longo. I'm gonna put my head towards his knees, I'm gonna put my arm underneath, and I'm just gonna widen, okay? Hand on the floor, I'm just gonna make sure his elbow's up and just shoot my knee real deep. Hand, I could look the triangle right here for now. Shoulder just goes back to the mat. And let's look the finish right here. I met Al, and Al's pretty quiet. But I noticed he was just extremely, extremely hard worker. He likes to roll hard. He's got an intensity about him, but always very polite and always cool. And then just, over the years, it got me liking him because of his intensity and his fighting style. Like, I love that about him. Now, he's a great human being. You know what I mean? After 10 years, that's what happens, man. These guys are with us for so long. And listen, I know it's very cliche, team, family, and a lot of people say the same thing, but it's true. You go to battle with these guys, you watch all the work they put into it. Me, being a former fighter, I know what they put into it, and I know the pressure, and I know the ups, and I know the downs. So you go on that roller coaster with them, and that's it. And then you just, and now we're just super close,
I say this about a couple of my guys. If these guys are healthy, they're all champions. I mean, he just needs to be given the opportunity with the proper preparation, and Al Iaquinta will unequivocally be a champion.
You'll never go through that process if you don't put yourself in harm's way in here. You know what I mean? You have to, this is the laboratory. You have to look to beat him in jiu-jitsu right in here. You know what I mean? And when Raging Al or Aljo comes down here, Chris Weidman, being professional mixed martial artists on the biggest stage there is, like, these guys got to cover all the bases. So the ground's a huge thing to cover, but they also got to cover their wrestling. They got to get their endurance. They got to work on their stamina. They got to work on their pad work. They got to get their sparring in the hills, and These guys here, my guys that are just my regular guys here, some guys will never see a cage in their life. All they concentrate on is taking limbs. So all they concentrate on is better ways to get their hips right underneath your onto your kneecap, or how to get your toes into the armpit so they can get a perfect heel hook to nasty ashigarami. So I mean, these guys are just, all they concentrate on is improving their positions on the floor, taking limbs, jiu-jitsu. So it's you know, when they come down here, I like when my jiu-jitsu guy, my fighters have the mentality of, all right, I'm gonna beat these guys at their own game, because then when they have the fight, man, you know, they're dealing with guys that gotta cover all those bases too. Right here, they're dealing with, you know, like just purists of jiu-jitsu, limb takers and heartbreakers, you know? So it's good for these guys, you know? Raging out, good work.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, definitely start toning it down about a week before the fight. That's when you just kind of letting your body heal, recover. Just focused on making weight, being as healthy, as focused as possible, just repping the techniques. Nothing too strenuous, but getting good sweating. Cut like 10 pounds during fight week. I usually get there under 170, and then throughout the week I'll cut down to 156. So it's not too bad. I think the other guys in my weight class probably cut a lot more than I do. I like to be focused on the fight rather than focused on the scale. Cut a lot of weight wrestling, and I think it hindered me big time. Rather than focusing on getting better at wrestling, I was focused on just making weight. And then when I made weight, I was like, the goal was completed, rather than just making weight and then the goal would be to wrestle my best.
Guys, let's hear it from Rage now.
Have a good workout, guys. Thank you.
No, I think this opportunity with Kevin Lee is obviously a huge opportunity. You know, we don't have to worry about Al showing up to fight, man. Al's looking phenomenal. He's looking great on all fronts. It's actually scaring me. He's just looking great. And it's just, after watching some of the sparring and watching some of the rolling, and I just have a really good feeling about this fight.